Hiya, this is my second part to my testimony, although in life it was actually what I walked through first before I heard the Lord speak audibly to me. I've done it this way round because it kind of makes sense more if you know where the beginning was, if you get what I mean. This bit actually happened while I was uploading video to the internet. It's still on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. It was October 2010. It was made with pictures that I drew while I was kind of going through this process of suffering. It was a kind of mixture between wanting to help other people out who might be going through the same thing as me, and wanting to show somebody who didn't know that abortion includes psychological stress. Some ladies don't suffer from this to start off with, it comes later on in life. Other people might suffer from stress straight away. It depends on the person and how and what their situation was. But post-abortion stress syndrome is a thing. And while I was suffering, I decided I was going to create this video to help other people out. And it was also a case of, it was like me saying that my baby didn't die in vain. You know, it was like there was a purpose, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. Anyway, while I was creating these pictures, something happened with one of the pictures. In the first part of my testimony, I mentioned the fact that when I was coming around from the operation, the nurse slapped me in the face, which she did do, but I think I should go into how and why. I think she was literally just trying to wake me up from coming round from the operation. I don't know, maybe I'd gone under too much with whatever drugs they give you or whatever, but she was telling me to wake up, and one of her slaps was quite hard, you know, sort of thing. I remembered that moment a lot more because of the content of what she spoke, as opposed to the physical element of it. And it was one of the pictures that was in the video. Now, cut a long story short, the first picture was drawn because, like, my emotions was creating the artwork, if you want. And the nurse was a nurse in the picture. It was my thought process, it was my emotions, and the content was the nurse pushing me in a wheelchair. When it came to doing the neatened version for upload, the nurse had turned into Jesus, and I hadn't planned that. But for me, it was like he was saying, I was there, I was with you. You know, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that. I mean, I talked to him, but on a knowing, I didn't know that he was there. And I think that was the first time that kind of like it jumped into my head that maybe he was there through the whole lot of it. See, when I prayed, I still had to go through what I went through, and I think sometimes when we don't get our prayers answered, we're like, I don't know, maybe he doesn't care or what have you. But it's not true. He does care. There are other reasons as to why maybe our prayers don't go answered. And we're not in the spiritual. We do not understand the whole picture and everything around it. And we just have to trust that he knows what he's doing. I mean, through doing the video, I've had people message me saying they'll never have an abortion due to seeing the video that I made. So, you know, weighing up the things that God knows, and you know, he's God, I'm not. So, you know, it is what it is. But the amazing thing about the pictures, with him just being there in this picture that I had not planned for him to be there. I was redrawing the nurse like from the first picture, and he's suddenly in this picture pushing me out the in a wheelchair. It was like, that was really cool. But I was still suffering from, you know, the symptoms and things like that. That was the first thing. It's kind of like the first step to this testimony, I guess, because it was art related. After I'd finished the upload, I'd put it onto the internet. Now, in the video, I drew a picture of Jesus for the video, and that was my own art capabilities of the time. And seriously, I haven't studied art since being at school, 1987, and my drawing was really naff, if I'm honest with you, unless I sat there and concentrated for quite some time, then I might be able to turn out something, you know, good. But other than that, you know, putting my work next to somebody else's work, my artwork wasn't fantastic at all. And after I'd done the video, I sat down to do a picture in the same way as I had with that one. But I had this real big, like, I want to say urge, like a need, like a real want to know what Jesus really looked like, you know? What does he really seriously look like? And it was like me seeking him, I guess. I seriously needed to know, what does he look like? And I really wished that I could draw him as he really looks. And I sat down with this pad, and I'm starting to draw in the same way as I had sat down with the first picture, wanting to draw a picture of Jesus. Only the most bizarre thing happened. My hands started whizzing around on the paper, and while my hands were whizzing, it was like, whoa, you know, I'm not controlling this. This is like, wow. And I'm picking up pastels, and I'm smudging, and I'm blending, and I'm smudging and blending, and I don't even know what I'm doing. It's just, wow, you know. And I took photos of each step through this picture, because it was like, wow, you know, it was just wow. And the amazing thing, when it came to doing his eyes, I could barely see with my own eyes. I'm like this, and my hands are doing this, and you know, there was this light. How can I describe it? I've not seen anything this bright anywhere on earth, anywhere at all. But there was this light and colour coming up from the page that was so bright, and I could barely see what I was doing. And that was incredible. That was so incredible. Through the process of my symptoms, my issues, my upsets, whatever you want to call it, I had been going down to my local chapel, and they had been praying for me, with me, talking to me, and they were really kind. I could talk to them about, you know, anything to do with it, and it was a sticky subject and everything, and they were so kind there. Anyway, they'd seen the first picture, okay? They'd seen the first one of Jesus that I did for the upload, and I remember taking this second picture down to the chapel to show them, and I'd framed it up and everything because I wanted to give it to them. I felt led to get frame, a certain frame for the picture. And when I went into the chapel to show them the picture, and I explained to the guy, you know, my hands were going whiz, and it was really quite funny actually, because he told the other chaplain in there, and they stood next to each other. I'm kind of like over there, and they're here, and he's looking at the other guy, and the other guy's looking at him, and then he's looking at me, and he said, "And you did the first one?" And I said, "Yeah." And then they looked at each other again, and then they were like this, and you did this one. And I'm about to go into this full-flung conversation again about, you know, explanation of how it happened and what happened, and he cut me short, and he turned and he talked to this other guy again, and then it turned around and he said, "We think you've been blessed with a prophetic art ministry." And whoosh, straight over my head. I did not know what that was at all. You know, people kind of like grasp prophetic, you know, kind of telling the future sort of stuff. But I didn't understand it. And it's taken a long time to learn and walk through. And it's been incredible, absolutely incredible. And at the time, no, what's a ministry? Had no idea, nothing, no clue at all. So these are things that happened to me, but God is the one that does it through me. So basically, I am just a tool. I am a paintbrush, as it were. And He is the creator. He is the one that knows what the picture's going to look like before it's painted. And all I do is obey instruction. And, you know, He says to me, "I want this painted blue." And it doesn't say it like I'm saying to you. It's like I might get an image in my mind, or and knowing is what I want to say. It's like, I don't know how to describe that. It's supernatural. Okay, it's supernatural. He's incredible. He is incredible. The Holy Spirit has taught me how to paint. And I did look through the Bible and see if there was anybody in the Bible who has experienced what I have. Because you do, you look around you and you want to know, has other people gone through what you've gone through? There's many people that do things like psychic art and all the rest of it, but it's not the same thing. It isn't the same thing. When you're working with God, you are talking to the Holy Spirit, if you want, and the Holy Spirit is your link to God, and the Holy Spirit lives in you. When you're doing something like of a psychic nature, you are seeking like spirits who are outside of yourself. It's not the same thing as being in communion and connection with God. It just isn't. Don't mean to offend anyone, but it just isn't. He's incredible. He's incredible. And if these testimony videos, you know, show that people are interested, then maybe I'll talk through each of my pictures in a more detailed way and explain how Jesus created them with me, because He should get the credit, not me. I'm just a paintbrush. He just blows me away. He's so cool. He's so amazing. I mean, we had an exhibition that he set up, and that's really cool too. He is amazing. God is amazing. And if you ask somebody, right, why do you believe in God? Well, I want to tell her and say, why don't you? Why don't you? Seriously, why don't you believe in God? He's awesome. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.